His criminal record, nothing more than a speeding ticket. He was a PhD candidate with a mother who has experience as a mental health professional. So much of the Aurora shooting suspect's profile doesn't seem to fit the destruction he unleashed in that theater. And ABC's Brian Ross now has the latest on James Holmes.
When the mother of James Holmes was reached at her San Diego home today and first told what had happened overnight, she expressed little surprise. "You have the right person," she told ABC News. "I need to call the police." Authorities said today the planning for the theater attack began at least 2 months ago, when Holmes purchased the first 2 guns of his arsenal at Denver area stores, passing the required background checks.
In the last 60 days, he purchased 4 guns at local Metro gun shops, and through the internet, he purchased over 6,000 rounds of ammunition.
It was over the last few months that Holmes, who was Phi Beta Kappa in college, saw his academic and career dreams collapse as he withdrew from a PhD program in neuroscience at the University of Colorado's Denver campus.
I think the motive is his life has continued to collapse for, I bet, a number of months or maybe even a few years. And as his issues with perhaps delusion, paranoia, got greater, he just couldn't deal with what was going on around him.
Holmes grew up in a prosperous San Diego community called Rancho Penasquitos. This was Holmes just 6 years ago, called Jimmy, a clean-cut 5'11" high school senior, a member of the junior varsity soccer team at Westview High School.
That's where it made me think about the times that he was picked on in class. He was just that person who always was smirking.
One former classmate remembered Holmes as the class bully, but others in his neighborhood said he was just a classic loner.
He was just quiet. He was just quiet.
Unable to find a job, Holmes moved to Colorado last fall and appeared to be nothing more than a quiet and easygoing graduate student. But it was a different Jim Holmes who showed up at this San Diego pawn shop, where the owner says Holmes sought tips on firing the guns he had planned to use.
We carry all of those firearms in stock. Very specifically remember James Holmes' face.
Last night, neighbors at his Aurora apartment building said they heard loud techno music coming from his apartment, with the recorded sounds of gunshots added in. Holmes was already at the theater at the time.
What's odd is what really brought up the red flags for us is the apartment complex is very quiet. There's no noise, nothing. And then all of a sudden, yesterday night or midnight this morning, music starts up out of nowhere. That was kind of odd because no one throws parties in that apartment.
And then Holmes apparently attempted to make himself into the Joker character of the Batman series, according to a briefing given to the New York City Police Commissioner Raymond Kelly.
He had his hair painted red. He said he was the Joker.
He's a guy that has so left reality that he now is in this make-believe world that he's part of the Batman world, and that he's going to go in and play this character, and through that character, he's going to kill people.
Police say Holmes told them he was extremely calm throughout the evening because he had taken the powerful painkiller Vicodin about 2 hours before the attack. His final step, police say, was to booby-trap his apartment, which they say was so full of chemicals and incendiary devices that it may be days before the bomb squad can figure out how to defuse them.
I see an awful lot of wires, trip wires, jars full of ammunition, jars full of liquid, things that look like mortar rounds. We have a lot of challenges to get in there safely.
As with all mass shootings, victims and their families are left wondering why. Experts say in such cases, parents often know, without specifics, that something is wrong.
In so many of these shootings that have happened before, we've seen that they are carried out by people who are really at a point of desperation, who felt they may have had no other options left.
Today, his father, Robert, a software engineer, left the family home in San Diego under police protection to fly to Colorado to see his son. Police say they are certain Holmes acted alone, but there remains concern tonight there could be so-called copycats, others who would try to do the same thing at other movie theaters, Bill.
So what sort of steps are they taking?
Well, in Aurora, for instance, the police chief says he's been contacted by chiefs all across the country, and he's told them what he's doing, putting extra duty officers at those theaters. They're showing Batman for the foreseeable future.
Right. And we also understand AMC, they don't want, they want to discourage costumes, fans coming, and some are even being searched, I understand.
Yes, across the country there are concerns that there could be something else from the copycat, someone trying to capitalize on the same publicity that
that Mr. Holmes has received.
We heard from one theater goer in Times Square tonight. He said he went to see it and looked for the exits. It changes the way people are thinking about movies tonight. Brian Ross, thank you so much.